Alright, so we're back here working on the Sears 12.6 project. That's actually going to get turned into a white and black roper. So I did get the black stuff painted, so of course the frame's painted. All that stuff over here is painted. Got underneath the floorboards, I just painted them black because you're not really going to see them. Now the grill is actually white and black on this particular one. The 12.6, it was just all black, but this one, the stuff I have taped off is black and the rest of it's white. So this is all the pile of stuff that's going to get painted white. So you got the front grill, both floorboards, the hood of course, and then the fenders. So all that stuff is ready to go. That'll have to be primered and painted. So if you remember in the last video, and of course if you haven't seen that, I would go check that out before watching this one so you know what I'm talking about. And anyway, so in the last video I messed up the original transmission from this tractor. I haven't fixed it yet, but I am going to fix it. I'm just going to patch that hole and then it'll end up in something here eventually. But I'm kind of just looking at the differences between the two here. Now this is a Craftsman transmission out of a Craftsman 2 from like the mid 80s or so. So you can see the case is different where the pulley is actually spaced out quite a bit. And then this one here, the pulley is like kind of tight to the transmission. See that? The difference between there and here. This one, the actual case kind of comes out. From my looking at it here, if you line up where the frame attaches right on the side here, that pulley will still work. And then of course this one had little spacers because the frame actually goes here and there's these little spacers that go about like that. The high and low range levers are a 1/4 inch difference, and if I remember right, you can just unscrew these. So I will switch that between the two. This little bracket, that can come right off and go right on that one. The shifters won't work, but they will interchange with each other. So I'll just take the Craftsman shifter, put it on that one, and just change the two so the shifter for this tractor will work. The bigger pulley, that'll be fine. I'll just put a bigger engine pulley on there because unfortunately, I don't even know where it is. There it is. This Tecumseh engine that was in there didn't have any spark, and I can't get any spark off of it. Which is the second time I've seen this now in a short amount of time. I actually tried splicing into the spark plug wire because the boot on the end was a little messed up, and I still couldn't get any spark. The rest of the engine seems to be in pretty good shape. So that'll be just another engine for something else with a coil. So I ordered a cheap, Honda Clone 212 for this. And this will just get that. And that'll still have enough power to run that 42-inch Mordac. So I was really hoping to have the original engine in this, but I guess that'll be just an original engine I can put in something else, I guess. I did fix the front of the frame, as you can see from my terrible looking welds. I was in a rush. So yeah, I'm gonna get this transmission stuff switched over, probably get the transmission put in, the rest of that stuff painted, and I'll come back and give you an update on how that transmission actually fits. Alright, so I made a little progress on it. Of course, I did get the transmission in. I have this engine just sitting on there, trying to get some ideas on how I'm actually going to mount it. This is that Craftsman rear axle. It actually fits pretty good. However, one of the bolts on each side is actually snapped off in the case, so there's only one on each side holding it in. You got the back one over here, and then the front one on this side. I did switch the high and low range, I guess, shifter shaft thing between the two transmissions because the other one was slightly longer than this one. There's no brakes on this one currently. However, I can just reach through here and, install it. That should be pretty simple. The one on that one's kind of messed up, so I was going to just go a completely different route for that, and I'm going to wait till it's put together because I can just do this after the fact since I can actually access it on here. I got the dash also bolted on. Wanted to show you some of that, but I guess not. So this engine is just some cheap one I ordered offline. It's an Ace Up 212, basically kind of the same as the Harbor Freight Predator 212. This engine's a little bit cheaper made. Like this muffler is kind of, I don't know, bad looking. It just doesn't look that great. Normally the muffler is the same size as the air cleaner, and it's quite a bit smaller and it's kind of crooked. So that might end up coming off and I'll just end up putting a different muffler on it. So this is where it's going to end up getting mounted. Now what I might end up having to do here is, because the way the frame is, and this is going to be really hard to show you, but there's actually, I guess I'll just put the camera underneath here. There's this piece of metal right here that's going to kind of get in the way of me getting a wrench in there with bolts. So I may end up just drilling and tapping bolt holes for 1/4 inch bolts and just threading them into the frame. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably get this front axle installed, and then I'll come back and I will give you another update here. I'll probably get this engine shroud and stuff taken off because that's bright yellow. That's going to look kind of dumb on a white and black tractor, so I'll do that. Come back and I'll give you another progress update. Alright, so I did get that engine bolted in. I got the pull start shroud off because I'm going to paint that. This yellow fuel tank, I might end up pulling that off as well to paint that too because it's bright yellow and that doesn't match anything. I did get all the white stuff painted, so at this point it's pretty much ready to put together. I still have to figure out the wheels and tire situation because the tires that I have that were on it are completely junk. I mean, you can see just how many cracks are in them. They're really bad. Got the hood over here. That's painted pretty good. You know, turned out fairly decent. There's a little bit of rust spots, you know, on the top, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to get some of the fenders on, and I'll probably save the hood to last until I get the engine and everything figured out. And then, yeah, so I'll get the fenders on, and I'll come back and I'll show you that. Alright, so I did make some progress on it. Got the hood put on, got the fenders on. Steering wheel's just kind of shoved on there for now. I gotta do something with that because the bolts broke off. I may end up just putting a tack weld on the steering wheel just to kind of keep it from falling off, but we'll see. So next step will be tires. So I have one good tire underneath the seat there, and no other good tires that came with it. So I've got to go look around here for some tires, which will be fun. Alright, I'm in my back building here where all the stuff is, I guess. So we have this one tire, which was one good one that came with it. I do have a turf tire there that will fit on it. And this being a roper, it's supposed to have turf tires, not this style of tire. So we have one turf tire there, this good tire that came off of it, so we can switch this one for that one. Okay, we have one good tire. Alright. And then there is a Sears Custom over here. This one right here that has that like ribbed front tire on it and then another turf tire. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that ribbed front tire that's over there, put that on here, and then I have two turf tires. So okay, and then I'm good for front tires. This tractor will have both matching front tires now. Now I still need back tires. Now there's one over here that has the Turf Saver rear tires, which are the correct ones for this. They're back there, kind of a rusty-ish rim, but they hold air and everything real nice. And I believe they're both a matching set on that. Yes, they are. So there's my two tires there for the back. Now that just means I gotta find two tires around here that I can put on that tractor that aren't completely shot. And of course, to get that tractor out, I'm gonna have to move this trailer out with that mini skid steer, move this piece of metal, this tractor, and then I can finally get to it. Not a big deal, but it's somewhat annoying. So let me get this tire situation figured out, and I'll come back and show you the tires. Alright, so I thought I'd give you another update on stuff. I got them tires taken off and kind of sorted out. I got 3 of them here. Oh, I guess the other one rolled up there. That's the 4th one. I got to get them painted yet. I haven't painted them yet because I have the door closed in here and the AC on, and I don't want paint fumes everywhere. I found a seat, I guess, and I just kind of self-tapered it through the holes in the seat spring into the seat. Now, normally you're supposed to mount these into these threaded parts, but it doesn't fit. So I just kind of self-tapped it. It works for the most part. I've had pretty good luck with this. Worst case, it falls off and you fall backwards on the tractor. But yeah, with 4 on each side, that should hold it just fine. I guess the seat's off of Deutsch Alice. I didn't see that before, so I gotta sand all this down and paint that. Hopefully I can get the sticker off, otherwise I gotta wire wheel that. I think I did. I get the throttle cable hooked up. so that actually does something now. I still got to weld the steering wheel on. Just put a tack hold on there since that bolt's broken off, just keep it from falling off. I'll do that again, you know, when the door's open. So I'm going to do a bunch of little things, probably get that seat put on, figure out the parking brake, because that still just goes to nothing back here. I get that back panel on, you know, a bunch of little kind of dumb stuff like that, and I'll come back and I will show you another update. Alright, so I made some progress on it. I didn't get the tires, or I guess the rims painted like I wanted to, because it turns out I went to open the can of paint yesterday, and yeah, that's what the bottom looks like. The little bit of paint that was left is completely dry, so I won't be painting that. I did get that seat put on. I did rattle can paint the back of that, so now that's not all ugly. There's some rips in it, so I taped those up. It's kind of ugly looking, and it actually kind of looks worse on camera than it does in person. It's much more blacker in person. This looks a lot more gray and faded, so I don't know, maybe I'll have some stuff here that I can clean that up and shine it up a little bit. I'll do the same thing with the tires because those are kind of dirty and filthy. I got the decals made for the hood. I will show you actually right now on me making these decals. Alright, so I get a lot of people that ask about how I make these decals. Now these are a little bit more complicated than normal because they are quite a bit bigger. These are like 30 inches long from here to here, and they're 4 inches tall, so I can't just print them on a normal printer. These I printed with a normal printer, but I do have access here to a large format one, which can print 24 inches, which is from here to basically over here. I already cut it out, that's what scraps are about, by basically however long you want, like 150 feet is the roll, so technically that long if you wanted to. So that's how I print them. Now this is actually going to just get taped on there with this heavy duty HD clear tape. This is much better than the standard stuff. I've been using this for quite a while. If it bakes on in the sun or something for a couple days or whatever, or just plain out in the heat, you don't have to worry about water too much, but I wouldn't want to just keep getting it wet over and over. Normally, I have this laminating machine, which has these paper size laminating things. You can put it in and then cut these out. And then there you go. Like here's some decals for SS18 I made, and didn't end up using them. They're just a piece of paper printed. I do it a cheap way. Then that way I can make them here on my own. Now at the computer here, this is how I made these particular decals. Is I found the catalog picture for 79, and I scrolled through it here, and I found this the red swipe or swoop thing here. I cropped it down, you know, like that. I resized it. I opened it in preview. I took a screenshot, opened it in preview, and I changed the size. So it's a 4.2 inch, you know, tall this way by 30 inch from one side to another, which is the size that I need. And then that left me down to, where are we here? Down to this. So now I have this gigantic long, you know, red thing. Guess I can close this now. And then I wanted to print both at one time, so I overlaid them on top of each other, took another screenshot of it, and now we have both of them. So that's interesting. And then this here is just a Roper font, because I have absolutely no idea what font this is, which is taken from, as you can see, I have several decals here that I have. This is just some of them. It was taken from this. I just took off the top and the bottom of the logo, and I came up with that, which that's also taken from another one that I have, which I'm probably not going to find it, which is this one here. I reverted the colors from this one, which this is probably from another catalog. So that's interesting. So yeah, I've had a lot of time on decals, just trying to, you know, figure things out. I'm not a graphic designer anyway, but this is also from a catalog. So yeah, and there's a few of them that, you know, I've made, like this one here for a hide release. I used to use Microsoft Paint when I had a Windows computer. I switched to a Mac a few years ago, so it's made it a little bit harder. Of course, I still have one of them computers, but I just don't use it, so I have to do it this way, which makes it a little bit harder. But yeah, there you go. There's basic on how I make some decals. Is I just basically rip them off from somewhere online, resize them, print them on a piece of paper, laminate them on that thing there, and then either glue them on with like a spray glue, or I use this tape on top of the laminating, and there you go. So there you are. So yeah, that was on a little bit on how I make the decals. Sometime I really should make a video on actually doing the whole thing, on how I actually got these done. But that'll be, you know, upcoming. Hopefully, eventually, someday I do that. That's kind of like the wiring. Someday I want to make a video on actually wiring like an electric start tractor, you know, one with that style of engine. But we'll see when that actually happens. So this just has a basic off-on key switch, which I went through like 20 different key switches over there to finally find one that works. And of course, the ones that don't work, I just put back in the bin instead of ditch them. So it'll be, makes it a little bit harder for next time, I guess. So I did the wiring. I started to do something with a pulley, and then I realized the other one that I had that I thought was bigger, which is this one, is actually the same size. So I ordered another pulley for this that's a little bit bigger, because right now this belt is as tight as it goes, and it's still way too loose. I could keep trying different belts on here, but it's going to be endless trying to get that right. And I'd have to go buy another one, and I don't want to go to the store and buy another one yet. So what I did is I ordered a pulley, and that's going to make this go faster, because right now it's like walking speed. And of course this belt that's on here is like brand new. It was like put on something and then I changed my mind. So that'll work out. Actually, I have to make a cover for down here, or just leave that off since there's no cover here either. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up this mower deck here after I turn the camera off. There's all that oil I drained out of the transmission, still sitting in the same spot. Clean the mower deck up and get that ready for paint, because I'm going to brush paint that the same white that I'm going to rims. And then hopefully we can get that deck slid under here in the next video, and use probably that existing pulley on the engine. And we're actually going to attempt to actually mow with this thing. And probably not going to mow a whole lot with it, because this property is way too big to mow with something this small. But at least, I don't know, mow the right way by the road or something. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. There'll be more coming soon on this. Probably next week I'll have the part 3 video, which will be done. And I'll show you it running, driving, hopefully mowing with this mower deck on it. And, oh, I guess I got the headlights put in. So that's how it looks with the headlights on it. Anyway, that'll be it. And thanks for watching.